How's it going, everybody? David Hedge here, House Hedge Gaming, and don't adjust your YouTube channel. The title of this video is absolutely correct. Today I'll be doing a prediction video for AEW Revolution 2024. And there's a few reasons why I'm doing this video today. Number one, I will actually be in attendance for this show, and I figured since I'm going to be in attendance for it, might as well do a prediction video. Number two, I wanted to get more wrestling on the channel. I will not cover news. I'm not qualified for that. There's a lot of other channels and podcasts that do that tremendously. I'm a fan. I will always be a fan. I've been a fan of wrestling since I was a little kid, sitting on the floor watching NWA and WCW with my grandfather and my dad since I was a little kid, and watching wrestling up through till today. And I wanted to get a little more wrestling on the channel, so just talking to you as a fan of wrestling and predicting what could happen on a show is a good way for me to do that. So expect to see more of these in the future, especially with the next one coming up being WrestleMania. Third, this will be my second pay-per-view that I've ever attended for wrestling. My first one was 30 years ago in 1994 at the Roanoke Civic Center when it was WCW Fall Brawl 94 War Games, where the main event was the stud stable of Colonel Robert Parker, Double A Arn Anderson, Terry Funk, and Buckhouse Buck, going up against the Nasty Boys, the Natural Dustin Rhodes, and the American Dream, Not the Road, baby. Not the Road, American Dream, not the Dream, baby. Being able to see that match 30 years ago with my dad in third row, and now going 30 years later to tomorrow, because I'm filming this on March 2nd, I'll be in Greensboro for the 3rd, being able to watch the pay-per-view with my wife Cindy in such a historic venue of wrestling is going to be something that will be special to me. Not only that, but on March 3rd, it'll mark the 3-month mark since my dad passed away. So it's going to mean a whole lot to me being there with my wife at my second ever pay-per-view, 30 years apart from my first one, and I'm not only going to be with her, but I know my dad will be watching, and he'll have the best seat in the house to watch what is going to be one of the most historic pay-per-views, not just in AEW history, but in wrestling history. And I'll go into a little bit of that during the predictions. So without any further ado, let's talk wrestling, let's talk AEW, and let's see what's going to happen, what I think is going to happen at AEW Revolution from the Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina on March 3rd, 2024. All right, so let's get into it. So full disclosure, you're going to be seeing me looking down a lot. And the reason why is I have my notepad. I'll actually get it here, try not to rock the camera. Got my notepad with all the matches listed. I was going to try and look back and forth at the monitor. Chances are this sucker's going to go out at some point during the review, during the prediction video. I'm just going to put this here because I just saw that and that was bugging me. Professionalism at its best right here on House Hedge Gaming for the first wrestling prediction video in quite some time. But you'll see me looking down. I'll have my notes here so I can go through the whole card of the AEW event, which, again, like I said, it's going to be a tremendous event and a history-making in its own right. So, first off, we have 0 Hour, which is the pre-show from 6:30 to 8 that you can find right here on YouTube. And there's one match currently listed, and it's Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale going up against the TBS champion Julia Hart and Sky Blue. All four of these women are tremendous at their craft. Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale have been doing great stuff as tag team partners, but also as individuals. Julia Hart has been a tremendous TBS champion, has been representing the House of Black very well. And plus, she's still a student of the game. She is still growing into her role, and she has come so far from being a cheerleader for the Varsity Blondes back in the early days of AEW to becoming what she is now, which is undoubtedly, she can be the potentially to be one of the best women's wrestlers for AEW. And she has been perfecting her craft, and she has a tremendous character and an aura about her that I can't wait to see what the future holds for her, but also her tag partner, Sky Blue. All four of these women are tremendous. And I'm looking forward to see what they can do on 0 Hour, and I really hope that they give them some time to shine and put in the work on the pre-shows, set the stage for what the main card can be, and showcase what the AEW Women's Division truly has in store for everybody throughout the rest of the year. But as far as who's going to win this match, I can see it going to Julia Hart and Sky Blue. This is Julia Hart's first match back since injury, and I can see them doing some shenanigans and chicanery. I almost tried to make a new word, chicanery. Yeah, it's about 11:30. I have not had all my caffeine yet. So this is going to be an entertaining video for all of you for sure. But I think there's going to be some tricks up the sleeve of Julia Hart and Sky Blue to get the win, to start off 0 Hour, and to start off the pay-per-view, set the stage for what's going to be coming up on the main card. Speaking of the main card, let's go into the first match, which is an all-star 8-man scramble that was originally a Meat Mountain match. So there were reasons why they had to cancel the Meat Mountain match, because apparently several people are still on the injured list. But I think we're getting an 8-man scramble, which is going to be really cool, because this match will definitely set it up to where the winner of this gets a world title shot in the future. So far, the people that have been announced for this match are Chris Jericho, the FTW champion Hook, Powerhouse Hobbs, Brian Cage, Wardlow, Magnus, and Lance Archer. Now, there's an 8th participant that has not been added to the match yet, but they have a qualifier coming up tonight on Collision, and whoever wins that goes straight into the main card and this 8-man scramble match. Now, with this one, honestly, I don't know who's going to win it, because I can make an argument and I can make a case for each and every person that's in this match. Chris Jericho hasn't had a big main event match in quite some time. Hook had a terrific match against Samoa Joe not too long ago. I could see him getting a rematch. If Samoa Joe's still a champion, it'd be a great rematch. Or if it ends up being Swerve or Hangman, I'll go into that later, I can see him going up against either one of them, and it'd be a fine match. Love Hook, love the character, and he's still growing. He's definitely his daddy's son. With all the suplexes and everything, and just how he carries himself, it's definitely a good breath of fresh air. Just somebody with that kind of an attitude and that kind of projection of just this total nonchalant badass. And I really do enjoy seeing him just throw people around. He's like his dad. Taz did it. I loved it when Taz did it. And I'm glad that Hook's taken over his daddy's shoes. A little bit bigger and a little bit taller. Powerhouse Hobbs, he deserves a chance at a world title shot. He is such a great talent and a tremendous, like he's definitely a true heavyweight, but he can move like a cruiserweight. And I would really love to see him have a world championship match. Brian Cage, the same thing. Freaking monster, man. He deserves a lot more. I know that he's still part of the ROH. No, he's not part of the ROH 6-man tag, or is he? I have not watched ROH in a while. I should have done a little research. I'll make sure I do that for the next video. But Brian Cage, again, such a fantastic talent. Deserves a shot at the world title. Wardlow, after the promo that he did just a few short weeks ago, he definitely deserves a shot at the title. He is long overdue for a major push. Magnus from CMLL, just now getting into AEW and now getting this shot to go into this 8-man scramble. Hopefully he can shine. He's a great superstar. I've seen a bit of his work, and he is a tremendous luchador, and I really want him to do so well in this match and just showcase what he can do. And he'll have a lot of big guys to play off of, and hopefully he can do it. Lance Archer, I've always loved the character Lance Archer, especially from New Japan Pro Wrestling, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Let Jake Roberts be with him. Please, I would love to see Jake Roberts in person. That'd be awesome and amazing. But let Lance Archer be there, and he deserves a shot. All these men that deserve a shot at the championship. But if I have to go with one, I got to go with Wardlow. After the promo that he did, it just sets it up. But I would not be disappointed with any of them getting a title shot in the future. But for the 8-man scramble, even though I don't know the 8th person that's involved, I would go with Wardlow for this match. I think that he's going to just wreck everybody and just come out on top. And heaven help the person that has the world championship when this whole night's going to be over. Okay, second match that I have on the main card is FTR going up against Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli. Now, just a couple weeks ago, these two teams went at it to a time limit draw, and I'm really glad they're getting a shot to run that back here on Revolution. I've always been a fan of FTR. They're an old school tag team, and they heavily remind me of the Midnight Express, of Arn and Tully, and being able to see them in action in person is going to be a fantastic thing. It's going to be so cool to just see them, and if they can hit the Shatter Machine, love it. It's one of those moves where it's like Shatter Machine and the Dudley Boys 3D, because it takes three people to make that look so good. And I can't wait for FTR to hit on Jon Moxley and shut him up. That might be a spoiler for this one. But Mario, that's their tag team name. Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli are now Mario. Moxley, I've always liked Moxley. I've always liked the character. I've always liked that he has been just a hardcore, mean son of a gun. And Claudio Castagnoli is just a freak of nature. As strong as he is just undoubtedly one of the, in my mind, one of the most underrated and underutilized people that WWE ever had. And I'm glad that he's gotten the chance to shine in AEW. And this tag team match, I hope it goes too close to a time limit draw, but I want to see a decisive winner between these two teams. And in my mind, I want to be FTR. I want FTR to just get the win in here, hit the Shatter Machine on Jon Moxley, shut him up, and be able to go on to get the tag team titles again. But if Moxley and Claudio wins, I can definitely understand that one too, because both these teams deserve a shot at the tag team gold. And Moxley and Claudio definitely have a chemistry there that they should utilize on. If they're not going to have them go for individual gold, definitely have them as a tag team. And definitely have them get some gold later on down the line. But for this match, I really love to see FTR win and let that Shatter Machine go. And when they hit it, you might be hearing somewhere in the background of the Greensboro Coliseum just me acting like Homer Simpson, just going, All right, match number 3 on the main card. Christian Cage will be defending the TNT title against Daniel Garcia. Now, a lot of people were thinking that this was going to end up being a triple threat and have Adam Copeland thrown into the mix. I'm glad it's not. Even though I would love to see Adam Copeland in the Greensboro Coliseum, I know Cindy would love to see him in the Coliseum, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen. But what we will have is a great one-on-one match with Daniel Garcia, an up-and-coming star, going up against someone who is going through a tremendous renaissance in Christian Cage. Ever since he has been tied with the TNT title, with Luchasaurus, with Nick Wayne, with Nick Wayne's mom, and just going into this, pardon my language, this asshole persona that he has going on. He has that aura of, I want to see him get his ass whooped. And I really think that could happen at this event. I want to say that Christian Cage will end up holding onto the belt. But deep down in my soul, I would love to see Adam Copeland come out, spear Christian Cage while the referee is distracted somehow, and Daniel Garcia get the win and become the TNT champion. And then Christian and Copeland can go into one hell of a match to end their feud. I would love to see that. But if I gotta have to pick, which this is what this video is, it's a predictions video, I'm going with that. Daniel Garcia is going to win the TNT Championship with the help of Adam Copeland. And if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm not, well, I definitely have this video to document it otherwise. So, but I really would like to see Daniel Garcia win the TNT Championship and have Christian Cage and Adam Copeland go one-on-one one last time in one hellacious feud ender to end them all. And I think that'd be a tremendous time for everybody and all wrestling fans. But for this night, I want to see the W go to Daniel Garcia and him have his hand raised by the referee and having the title in the other hand and getting him to the next level and not just having great dance moves. Fourth match on the card will be the official first match since he has signed his AEW contract, Will Ospreay against Konosuke Takeshita. This is going to be the show stealer of the night. I honestly see that both of these men, Will Ospreay is undoubtedly one of the best wrestlers in the world right now, And Takeshita is, without a doubt, he was a hidden gem. When he came to AEW and started doing matches for the company, you knew that there was something special there. And now he just turns into this Yakuza type persona, like just with the long jackets and the serious face and everything. And you have Don Callis as his mouthpiece. I really, really do enjoy that dynamic. And to have these two go against each other, it's like, oh, it's like a friendly family match with Will Ospreay and Takeshita, both part of the Callis family. I can see Will Ospreay breaking away from the family after this match. And I hope so, because I want Ospreay to do do awesome things in AEW, because he is one of the top wrestlers in the world. He deserves to be pushed that way. But at the same time, you have Takeshita, who is this young lion who is undoubtedly going to be a megastar no matter where he goes. He keeps building up on that resume, and I think that he can go that way, and he can be a world champion. And in this match, they're going to prove it. I give the win to Will Ospreay, and I could see him just breaking away because Don Callis will berate Takeshita or will berate Ospreay, going like, listen, you're supposed to put him over, da-da-da-da. Ospreay punches Don Callis. Don Callis, everybody goes crazy. The building erupts, and I would love to see Callis take one right in the face. But I do see Will Ospreay win this match, but I do believe this will end up being a show stealer for the night. Okay, next match on the card. For the Continental Crown, Eddie Kingston against Bryan Danielson. Oh boy. So this match, when it got announced, I got all giddy. Because ever since Eddie Kingston came into AEW when Cody Rhodes was doing the open challenges, Kingston came in, they had a street fight. They just beat the living daylights out of each other. And it's because of that match and the promo that he did that he got a contract. And when they did the exploding barbed wire match a few years back between Moxley and Omega, and that, a lot of wrestling fans know how that went. The only one that really brought it back into me was Kingston. Because Kingston, at the end of that match when everything was exploding, Kingston had his head ducked. He was protecting himself, but he was protecting his friend. He didn't see the lack of explosions that happened, but the sound of it just triggered stuff in his mind. And the interview that they did with him and Moxley after that match, he was able to tell the story of how just those sounds and all just had him overwhelmed. And I love that. And so I've always been a big fan of Kingston, especially with him doing like the pre-show stuff and doing his running down the card in his own way. And when the time gets cut, he's like, oh, I got cut, gotta go, bye. And just drops the mic and just hauls butt out of the ring. Love that. And he is a great talent, and I'm glad he's getting his shine right now. I'm glad he's getting his flowers right now as being the Continental Crown champion. On the other hand, you got Bryan Danielson, who is one of the best in the world, has been for a long time. And even though his career is starting to wind down, he's not slowing down. He is going at it, and he is going up against pretty much anybody that he can and giving us dream matches that we never thought we needed. And this is a rematch from the Continental Classic that they had just a few short months ago. They were in the finals of one of the brackets and won the blocks, and Kingston got the W, and he was able to move on. And having this be that big rematch in Greensboro is going to be insane. And it's going to be entertaining, and it's going to be a lot of chops, a lot of kicks, and a great time for everybody to watch it. But I believe, in my mind, that the winner of this match will be Eddie Kingston. He'll be retaining the Continental Crown, and he'll be carrying that for quite some time. I hope. All right, next up, for the international title, Orange Cassidy will be defending against Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Kingdom. Now, Orange Cassidy, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't a big fan of his character at first. I wasn't. And you can put in the comments, you can boo me there, that's fine. But he has proven himself to be a tremendous wrestler. And the character, I've grown to love it. And the second run with him with the international title has been a fantastic run. But unfortunately, I think it's going to end in Greensboro as Roderick Strong, who is the messiah of the backbreaker. He's definitely going to be breaking a lot of backs, squeezing a lot of oranges, and just taking the juice out of Orange Cassidy. And Orange Cassidy may be freshly squeezed, but he will also be freshly cracked by the time Roderick Strong's done with him, because the Undisputed Kingdom needs another big win. They need to have a big presence. They were supposed to be this major faction coming in after what happened at World's End, but they haven't really had those moments. They are the ROH tag champions or tag title holders with Bennett and with Taven, and Strong can add to that, and I think he will in Greensboro, as he will become the international title holder, the international champion. So my prediction for this match, it's going to be a tremendous match. It's going to be fantastic. But I do see Roderick Strong getting the win and becoming your new international champion. Next on the card for the AEW Women's Championship, Timeless Toni Storm versus Deonna Purrazzo. Now, the Toni Storm character, oh my God. I fell in love with this character. Just her being this old-timey, like, movie femme fatale with the black and white and everything, and especially lately when they're doing the interviews and you have one side of your screen being black and white and the other side being color. I've really enjoyed this presentation of Toni Storm. I loved her in NXT, loved her in NXT UK, and I've always been a fan of hers. And she's a tremendous talent and a tremendous wrestler. And her against Purrazzo, both these women, they're going to beat the crap out of each other. Let's just face it. They have known each other for quite some time. And I love it that they incorporated that they had the same tattoos and everything. Because these two women have definitely traveled the roads together a lot. And so them being able to showcase what they can do on the main card of AEW Revolution in a title match, it should be high up on the card in my opinion. And if you give them time, they will definitely show that the women's division in AEW is definitely at a different level than what it was a few short years ago. But as far as who's going to win the championship or who's going to hold on to it, I give the win to Toni Storm. I think she's still got some longevity left in the title as the title holder, but also longevity in this persona that she has right now. So I see Toni Storm with a little bit of old school chicanery getting the W and retaining the AEW Women's Championship. All right, now we're down to what I think is going to end up being the semi-main, as the AEW World Title will be put on the line as Samoa Joe will be defending against Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page. Oh, this is going to be brutal. Over the past few months, we have seen what Samoa Joe can do against everybody. As the AEW champion, I think he's done a tremendous job. Swerve Strickland is, without a doubt, a main eventer. Ever since even though he's part of the Mogul Embassy, he's got Prince Nana, he's got the presentation, he has the music, and he has the ability in the ring to back it all up. And you have Hangman Adam Page, which he did graduate from the BWC Wrestling School. Instructor right here. This match is going to be just three men proving that no matter what stage of your career you're in, there's a lot left in you. So think of it this way. So Samoa Joe, WWE did not know what they had in Joe. They had him behind the desk. They had him in the poncho and everything. Then they released him. Then he came back, became the NXT champion. Then they released him. And now he's in AEW, and he is undoubtedly one of the top stars in AEW. And he is old school Joe. And nothing has really changed with his presentation over the years. Like, he's minus the face paint that he had in TNA. But he is a cocky, arrogant son of a gun. But he can back up everything that he says. He's athletic. He's strong. He's very technically sound. And he's basically what a world champion should be. Now, some people might say and argue that he doesn't look the part because he's a big guy. But you know what? That doesn't matter. he is without doubt an unstoppable machine. You have Swerve Strickland, again, another talent WWE didn't know they had, but he came to AEW, and ever since he's been in this program with Adam Page and his showing in the Continental Classic, he is proving that he is ready to be a main eventer. And just a few short months ago, we had one of the most brutal Texas death matches that has ever been televised in quite some time between Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. And I don't mind blood in my wrestling matches because it adds to the storytelling, but they took it to a whole different level. And I can see these three men doing that again in this triple threat match. Hangman Adam Page now going to the dark side, becoming from a good sheriff type cowboy to a bandit type cowboy, and being just this devious guy who in his mind thinks he's the hero, but then again, all villains think they're the heroes in their own story. But Adam Page is thinking that now, and he is defending his right, because even though, yes, Swerve Strickland did go into his house, did cut a promo on his baby and everything, Adam Page is going to get him back for that. And Samoa Joe is just going to be there, and he's going to beat the crap out of both of them. Now, as far as who's going to win this match, I see Samoa Joe retaining. Samoa Joe is going to end up retaining the championship, and he's going to go on further. But if Swerve Strickland wins it, I'm not going to be sad about that. I will be the exact opposite. I'll be ecstatic. I would love to see Swerve Strickland get the championship and hold on to it for a long time and show everybody that he is ready for that main stage. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be this night. I think Samoa Joe will definitely be able to retain the championship because Swerve and Hangman will be focusing more on each other than they will on the champion. Okay, the main event for AEW Revolution, it is for the AEW Tag Team Championships. It is a Texas Tornado Rules match, and it is Sting's retirement match. It is Sting and Darby Allin going up against Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the Young Bucks. Where do I begin with this match? So, like I said at the onset of this thing, I've been a wrestling fan for years. I've been a wrestling fan pretty much all my life. And one of the big constants throughout my wrestling fandom has been Sting. Whether it's been WCW, TNA, AEW, WWE, no matter where he was, I was always enthralled with what he would do in the ring. And when he thought he had to retire from WWE after the incident with Seth Rollins years ago, I was thinking, well, that's it. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's done. And I understood it, because you got to take care of yourself. But then he came back in 2020, and during one of the most unprecedented times in this world, and he came back, and before you knew it, he showed you the reason why he was the icon, and he still is. I think him teaming with Darby Allin has truly been something special. Darby Allin is a risk taker. He is a daredevil. He's definitely hard to keep down. And I think that Sting partnering with him definitely has helped Darby Allin become a better wrestler and a better superstar. And he is definitely a main event person. At first, he was just a kid with a skateboard and a dream. But now he has become something so much more because his partnership with him and Sting. And Sting has become this crazy son of a gun who does every single balcony dive that he possibly can at his age. Just defying everybody's. I think he's going through his Terry Funk phase to where he'll just jump off of everything and just go like, you know what? I'm 60-some years old. Screw it. Whee! Like just jumping off of everything. And I think Darby Allin's like, yeah, you go for it, Sting. Yeah. I'll be jumping off of that later. So that whole tag team, just having them together for so long. And yeah, it's been sporadic uses of Sting, but that's what they needed to do. Sting, you bring him there, and every time he's there, he's going to put on a fantastic match. He's going to do an entertaining match, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And the build-up between them against the EVPs, especially now with the AEW tag titles on the line with Sting and Darby Allin defending, I don't think the match needed the titles, but it definitely adds a little bit of spice to it. Because now, if the EVPs get a hold of the tag titles, that means they're going to be even more power hungry. But if Sting and Darby Allin win the match, Sting retires with the title, Darby can go on and possibly pick a new partner to be a title holder with them, or they can do a tournament for the titles. But either way, this match here is definitely going to be a lot of history. I know that there have been times where a lot of wrestlers say they'll retire and then they come back again and again and again and again. It just like takes away from that feeling. I don't think Sting's going to do that. He's 64 years old. He is still in tremendous shape and he can still move around like he was in his 30s and 40s. But now he knows that every person in the wrestling business has a certain amount of time. And you can try and stretch that time all you want. But at some point, you just have to go, it's time. And for Greensboro, North Carolina, at the Greensboro Coliseum, it'll be showtime one more time. And I want to believe that Sting and Darby Allin will win, retain the titles, and go out on the highest of high notes. But in reality, and this is my prediction, that Matthew and Nicholas Jackson will win the titles, and Sting will be left in the ring, and he will leave his boots in the ring, he will say his goodbyes, and there's only one thing certain, is that with Sting, Greensboro will be his last match. But over the past 4 years in AEW, he has done so much more than anybody ever thought they'd see from the Sting, from the icon, the showstopper, the headliner. And I know some of those monikers go for Shawn Michaels, but I don't care about that. They go for Sting too. Because he has been there for a lot of wrestling fans, especially my generation. And this Sunday, it's the end of an era. And I'm not going to lie, it hit hard when Undertaker decided to hang it up. Because that was somebody that I followed a lot when I got into wrestling and all. But Sting was there right at the very beginning when I started to be a fan. And now on March 3rd, he wrestles one last match. And I believe it's going to be one hell of a brawl. And it's going to go everywhere. And it's going to be a fantastic affair. And a tremendous match. And I am very glad and I'm going to be very honored to be in the crowd to watch that match. And to watch Sting do one more Stinger Splash, do a Scorpion Death Drop, possibly lock in the Scorpion Death Lock, do plenty of and he's going to deserve every single bit of applause that he gets at the end of that match. Because he is truly a legend. And he deserves it. Well, there are my predictions for AEW Revolution 2024. Now, the big question is, what are your predictions? Let me know in the comments below. And when I get back from the event, I'll definitely do a little bit of a rundown, see how many predictions I got wrong, and just have some fun with it. Because like I said, I want to try and do a little bit more about wrestling here on the channel. And hopefully this will be the start of something pretty cool. So thank you all so much for checking out this video. If you like it, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And let everyone know that House Hedge Gaming is here for your gaming needs. But also, David House Hedge is here to talk a little bit of wrestling as well. But until next time, everyone, stay safe and take care, my friends.